sense. Simple human sense.
We've got some strong storms moving through central mid-Michigan this afternoon. Severe thunderstorm warning remains in effect for Eaton and Ingham County until 5:45 this afternoon. One cell that we're watching tracking right across the heart of the viewing area, still fairly strong out there as well, affecting Lansing to a certain extent, but more so in the eastern sections of Eaton County. There it is in motion. You see how it's pushing towards the south-southeast at around 25 miles per hour. On that track, here are some arrival times for you. Notice Eaton Rapids by around 5:08 this afternoon. 5:28 Springport, Parma by 5:49. Forecast-wise for tonight, this cell will fall apart over the next couple of hours and will be done with rain for tonight. Temperatures low 60s tomorrow, but we are really going to heat things up for the 4th of July. 6 News at 5 starts right now.
WLNS is here for you, celebrating 75 years of bringing you the news with 6 News at 5.
President Trump is getting his wish and will soon be able to sign his big, beautiful bill. It's our top story at 5. Thanks for joining us. I'm Jorma Duran. After more than 6 months of debate and negotiations, the One Big Beautiful Bill Act has now been passed by Congress and will soon land on President Trump's desk for his signature. But as Erica Brown reports, the fight over the legislation faced several big hurdles before Republicans could get the votes needed to pass it.
House Republicans handed President Trump a big win on his so-called Big Beautiful Bill.
The yeas are 218, the nays are 214. The motion is adopted.
Lawmakers passed the massive budget bill after a day of tense negotiations, with Republican leaders and President Trump himself working to wrangle support from GOP holdouts.
He helped answer questions and articulate his vision and what this bill will mean for the country and his agenda.
The legislation significantly boosts spending for border security, immigration enforcement, and defense. It also extends Trump's 2017 tax cuts, increases the child tax credit, and ends taxes on tips and overtime pay.
The One Big Beautiful Bill is for the people who don't have lobbyists in this town.
The Democratic House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries delayed the final vote with a record-breaking 8-hour and 44-minute floor speech in opposition to the bill.
We're here, Mr. Speaker, to take our sweet time on behalf of the American people.
Democrats voted against the bill unanimously, citing changes and steep cuts to safety net programs, including SNAP, the Food Assistance Program, and Medicaid. The nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office estimates Medicaid could be cut by roughly $930 billion, with nearly 12 million people at risk of losing health care coverage.
Shame on this institution if this bill passes. That's not America. We're better than this.
President Trump is planning a White House signing ceremony for his signature legislation on the 4th of July. Erica Brown, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
And we will have continuing coverage on the big budget bill, so stick with us on air and online at WLNS.com. For many, the 4th of July weekend is basically starting right now. And for those in Eaton Rapids, they're already celebrating Independence Day. That's where we find Rachel Ramsey. She's live in downtown where events just got underway. Good evening, Rachel.
Good evening, Jorma. Eaton Rapids is beginning its celebrations with what organizers are calling Chalk Fest. The event just began, and as you can see, the kids are flooding the sidewalks, making everything bright and colorful ahead of the fireworks celebration that is happening tomorrow. And you know what? I had to join in too. Take a look. I created this American flag right here. You know, I did my best. It's not, you know, every artist needs to do a signature. It's not the best, but I think you can tell it's an American flag, so I'm proud of myself. Chalk is actually not that easy to draw with, but organizers say this is a great way to make the area even cooler to watch the fireworks in, and people in the community agree.
It's great, especially because just trying to figure out things to do with the kids, you know, is hard sometimes. But getting out there and just having fun is great.
Now, Chalk Fest ends around 7 p.m., but after that, the after party begins at Martin Hansen Amphitheater. There will be bounce houses, movies, music, and more, all until dark tonight. And really, that is just the start of the festivities, because tomorrow you can expect fireworks and a parade here in Eaton Rapids. And coming up on 6 News at 6, I will be in another location in mid-Michigan telling you about another celebration. Here for you live in Eaton Rapids, Rachel Ramsey, 6 News.
Rachel, can't wait. We appreciate that. And as a reminder, fireworks are not allowed on public land such as state parks and national forests. Here's a big reason why. The U.S. Department of Agriculture's Forest Service says people cause nearly 9 out of 10 wildfires, and any sort of spark within dry brush or trees will be cause for concern. So federal officials are urging everyone to leave behind the fireworks this 4th of July if your itinerary includes a state campground. The Alzheimer's Foundation of America also has a fireworks warning because bright displays can create challenges for families impacted by Alzheimer's and other dementia-related illnesses. So the foundation suggests following these 4 steps. F, which stands for forego the fireworks. O for organize, which ultimately means explaining where the loud noises are coming from. U for understated gatherings, so to not overwhelm your loved one. And R, revise your celebration. So instead of loud, crowded spaces, try making patriotic crafts or decorations at home.
Have the person watch fireworks on TV where you can control the sound. Maybe have some festive lighting or some glow sticks and have them celebrate that way. All of that can help keep them engaged in the holiday, participate in the holiday, but do so in a safe and comfortable manner.
Families with questions or concerns can speak with a licensed social worker through AFA's helpline by calling 866-232-8484 or chatting on their website. Burgers, brats, potato salad, that's just a sample of all the yummy foods many of us are about to eat over the next few days, but a lot of times people aren't preparing and then storing the food properly after the party. Sydney Sutliff is here for you now to help you keep your food safe this holiday weekend. Good evening, Sydney.
Good evening, Jorma. Whether you're firing up the grill or laying out a fun picnic, food safety should always be at the top of your list, especially with higher temperatures outdoors. Now, I spoke with a toxicology professor and meat handlers about how to avoid foodborne illnesses this holiday.
On the 4th of July, grills are hot, coolers are packed, and people are ready to eat. But what many don't realize is that July is the peak month for food poisoning in the U.S., according to the CDC.
56% of people do not wash their hands when prepping food. One is if they're going to be cooking or grilling different kinds of meats or poultry or fish, they need to make sure that it's cooked sufficiently to reduce any risk of viruses or bacteria.
With the heat, experts say you're even at risk if you leave your food out for only an hour, as bacteria multiplies fastest between 40 degrees and 140 degrees.
You know, make sure that any of your raw, uncooked meats are in the bottom of your cooler with the ready to cook, ready to eat items on top.
Keeping the warm foods separate from the cool foods and preventing cross-contamination.
With that being said, 6 News has 6 food safety tips for you to use at your cookout this 4th of July.
Best results you're going to have is if you plan before you ever even leave the house.
Always use a thermometer when cooking. Never eyeball the temperature. Wash utensils or cutting boards after changing foods to avoid cross-contamination. Consistently wash your hands for at least 20 seconds, or when in a bind, carry hand sanitizer on you. Also, always trust your nose. If it smells sour, it's gotta go. Keep meats sealed tightly and store them at the bottom of a cooler or fridge in case of any of the juice leaks out. Remember, as you're gearing up for the family cookout, food safety should be just as important as what's on the menu.
For more tips on handling food safety, go to WLNS.com and visit our Scene on 6th page. Jorma, back to you.
Sydney, thank you very much. And don't forget to submit pictures of you celebrating your 4th of July weekend at WLNS.com/share to be featured next Wednesday. One lucky winner will be selected at random to win a $100 Visa gift card.
From Storm Tracker 6, this is Weather First, sponsored by Auto Owners Insurance. Simple human sense.
We continue to watch a couple storms out there this afternoon. One giving us the severe thunderstorm warning for portions of Eaton and Ingham County. Back to live Storm Tracker 6 Doppler radar. Main storm is just east of Charlotte, but it is beginning to weaken a little bit. Meanwhile, another storm northwest of Olivet is strengthening, so that could become the next warning. We'll see. These storms are what we refer to as pulse storms, meaning they develop very quickly. When they go severe, they don't stay severe very long. So it's kind of hard to keep up warnings-wise with who should seek shelter because they're weakening just as quickly as they strengthen. There it is, though, in motion. This main storm is moving south and east. As this outflow boundary begins to hit this other storm, may give it a little extra bump, though, so we'll keep a close eye on that. The hail tracker, you see how the colors were very bright and then suddenly they start to drop off. So somewhere under that was probably where the strongest winds were and maybe some hail as well. This other storm near Olivet, as you can see, the colors starting to get a little bit brighter, meaning it is showing signs of strengthening. Our 3D Doppler, there's a look at the storm, the main storm, and it extends up pretty high to around 30,000 feet, at times up to 40,000 feet, and some of the decent reflectivity was up high, which means it's probably going to dump some of that out in the form of some very gusty winds, and that's what we've been seeing today. As we head into the next 24 hours, things will get quiet weather-wise, but it's going to get hot. Upper 80s tomorrow, in the 90s on Saturday, and then we're stuck in the mid-80s most of next week. Precision cast for this evening, storms will come to an end very quickly as we lose any daytime heat. Just a couple degrees is all it'll take. By tomorrow morning, a few storms to our west, and during the afternoon, similar to today, there might be a pop-up shower or storm, but it is quickly out of here from 7 or 8 o'clock through 9 o'clock. Things are looking dry, and thereafter, during the overnight hours, we should see dry conditions as well. Saturday morning looks good. Saturday afternoon, the chance for storms is probably 10 to 20%, so can't completely rule out a pop-up storm, but overall, it looks like most of us stay dry on Saturday. Temperatures currently in the lower 80s outside on the Skyview Network. McLaren Cam, we've got fair skies at 83 after a high today of 85. Morning low was down to 64. In Grand Ledge, current temperature 75, morning low down to 62 degrees and over 3/10 of an inch of rain when that storm came through. Jackson, we're at 78 degrees after a high today of 85, and final stop in Hillsdale, sunshine and our current temperature at 80 degrees. Tonight's forecast, low drops to 62 degrees, pretty comfortable, mostly clear skies. Then it gets hot out there tomorrow evening with temperatures climbing into the upper 80s, heat index values close to 90. The 6-day forecast, as we notice, the rain chances returning on Sunday. That moves out for Monday and Tuesday. A few more morning showers on Wednesday. The rest of the week looks quiet, but we had to move the rain chance off of Friday and on to Saturday. Hopefully that'll change, but could be a little wet weather next weekend.
Changes, changes, changes.
There's a song or something about that.
I know, right? I'm getting excited for this 4th of July.
Oh, me too.
Yeah.
Finally a hot one, mainly sunny.
I know.
All right.
All right is right.